Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you meditating wrong? In this episode, Karen and I sit down with spiritual leader Ragan Thomson to uncover why your breathe and chill routine might just be selling your soul short. Reagan spills the tea on energy centers, auras, and why your heart is more than just a love pump. She also guides us through the real secrets of connecting with our intuition, embracing our soul's purpose, and yes, even finding our signature meditation style. Because one size fits all is so last century. Plus, we dive into the cosmic combo of science and spirituality, collective healing, and saving the world, one mindful moment at a time. Tune in for a lot of wisdom, a few laughs, and a little existential recalibration. Hey, your higher self called. They said not to miss this episode of the Skeptic Metaphysicians.
My name is Will.
And I'm Karen.
And unlike Mulder and Scully,
we both want to believe.
So we've embarked on a journey of discovery.
We've talked to people deeply entrenched in the spiritual and metaphysical world.
We've thrown ourselves into weird and wonderful experiences. I even joined a coven of witches.
And wait, you joined a coven?
Yep, all in the interest of finding something.
Anything.
That will prove that there's something beyond this physical,
three-dimensional world we all live in.
This is the Skeptic Metaphysicians. Hey there, we hope you're enjoying these conversations as much as we are. If you are, and you feel called to give back, well, we invite you to visit our website at skepticmetaphysician.com, where you can donate to the show or subscribe as a member through our Buy Me a Coffee campaign. Your support will go a long way towards allowing Karen and I to bring you these wonderful conversations and teachings in more and more robust ways. As always, thank you so much for listening. Let's go ahead and get on with the show. Hey there, I'm Will.
And I'm Karen.
And welcome back to Skeptic Metaphysicians. Today, we are thrilled to have Ragan Thomson in the studio with us today, talking about, what are we not talking about? She is an incredibly inspiring spiritual leader that is so involved in helping the world raise their vibrations, their frequencies. She's going to actually help us to answer all the spiritual questions that everybody has out there. So strap your seatbelts because we got the actual expert on the show today. Reagan, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so awesome to be here. Thank you.
All right. So I think since we know you have so many of the answers, and we are so woefully short on answers, we want to tackle the typical topics right off the bat. Right. Karen and I have been doing the show for just about 4 years, and we have been struggling to find a way to that spiritual awakening that everybody's talking about, trying to find a way to access the peace, the mindfulness, all that kind of stuff that people talk about, but we keep getting stuck in the 3D. And so I think probably the biggest help that I need from you specifically, Reagan.
Just dot.
Do I have to say anything else? So what? I know, and everyone says that like the best way to start is with meditation. I totally understand that, and I've been meditating for a while. But what's the missing piece? Like, what is it that's going to actually take us to the next level?
That's a great question. Thank you. Well, okay. So first off, so much of the challenge with all of this, right? This beautiful work of inner work that leads to what we hope to be the case is an awakening, a spiritual awakening, is that a lot of folks on the planet are meditating in a way that maybe is not as serving. Let's just put it that way. It's good to meditate, absolutely. Dropping in, taking a few minutes to breathe and connect and go inward. That's super wonderful, right? It's just good to connect with yourself and to drop in and just take a moment. And even if it's just to take a moment and go, how am I doing? What's happening with me today? That's something, but it can be taken to a much higher level than that, right? It can be taken to a level where we begin to leave our mind out of the whole thing. And that is where a lot of people don't feel comfortable going. And so initially the mind will be what brings you to the meditation, what says to you, you should meditate right now. It'll make you feel better, right? And you're like, maybe I will. It's like you're literally having this conversation, right, with something or someone, and it's probably your mind. And your mind has information, it has knowledge, but what it does not have is wisdom. And so a lot of people have not tapped into their innate wisdom, the innate wisdom of their entire being, right? Their soul essence. And a lot of folks have not even connected to their souls, right? So for someone to understand even what that means, they'd say, okay, well then I have to believe in what? I have to be religious, I have to be. No, you really don't. It's pretty much known to be pretty scientific at this point. I mean, there's chakra centers, we have energy centers, we have a body that if you really check into some of this stuff, you're going to start to see that we are made up of light, we're made up of energy. There is this connection more than what's going on in our body. Our flesh is one thing, our skin is one thing, but there is so much more going on internally within us. And so when we start to connect into the energetic body, what I'm saying is, if we can leave, if the mind is going to try to rationalize this stuff, right? It's going to try to make logical, reasonable sense of what's called the soul. But when we drop out of the mind and we drop into our intuition, when we really drop in and we listen, we're going to be like, wow, what is that? What is that inner voice? Where is it really coming from? What is that outer voice, in fact, that seems like it's guiding me or is giving me direction for safety or for protection sometimes? It's the voice that you're about to take the right hand turn, but you don't. You take the left hand turn and you find out there was a car accident over there and it was blocked for, hours and you would have been stuck, right? So there's the intuition that is listening to this guidance somewhere, and that guidance is being, if we so choose, listened to, and therefore guiding us, directing us. And it's our energetic body that's connecting to all of that. It's not some sort of mind-based interaction. And as we drop in, the reason why we're going into depth with this is we start to drop in beyond the mind into the intuition, and then dropping into listening on a higher level, like an intuitive, kind of deeply receptive level, where now we're starting to connect into something deeper. We start to connect to our hearts, right? And so we're asking that meditation start to be practiced more by the world and from the heart space. So, and it can go even deeper than that, which is really cool. It can go deeper than the heart. It can go into the depth of connecting to your soul. And there is a doorway. There's a doorway behind our heart that folks don't even know about. And we have been studying this for a long time, and I'm not the only one studying it. Many ancient teachers, you've probably seen many icons. They direct their hand to here, right? Jesus, Mother Mary. These are all just master teachers. They're not unlike us. They just did their inner work. So they're like pointing. This is where it goes. So when we pray, when we meditate, we ask folks to connect to their hearts, connect to that space, and start to breathe, in fact, and maybe drop in a little deeper behind their heart, which is where the seat of all of our souls reside.
So, sorry, you have a question?
I was going to say, so would you know if this is happening? Because sometimes I'll meditate and I'll feel like I'm just really deep in it, and and I'll come out like, oh, that was amazing, but maybe I didn't. Like, is it obvious if you've connected to your soul, or to
Yeah.
if you've dropped in deep enough? Because I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong.
What does it feel like if you do it right?
So cool. Well, here's the great news. If you have a good teacher, I feel like I've helped a lot of folks with this. Someone who understands the work. We can share it just like this that we're sharing with you, and we can go into a meditation, a guided meditation, and we will help guide you to that space. And do you feel something different? Absolutely, you feel something different. There is a instantaneous. I'll just go with all the feedback we've heard over the years, right? All the folks that have said, I don't know, am I doing this right? Right? Okay, am I doing this right? Is this, as soon as they let go of the am I doing this right? Right? The mind, just so you know, the critiquer will be the one that's saying, am I doing this right? Am I dropping in right? Am I supposed to feel this way? What am I supposed to feel? If we can let go of the mind chatter, that's the stuff that we're talking about with meditation. Why people are like, well, I'm not having the spiritual awakening. What is happening? I'm meditating. I'm really trying. It's like, okay, well, there's a piece here that's missing, which is just that. And it can be as easy as just saying, I delete that. I discard it. I just wait one moment. Let me practice. And it's a dropping in, it's a letting go enough, just even if it's for a few moments, that space, that drop in, that I call it kind of 2 intuitive steps back behind the heart. If you give yourself that moment, there is this, which is, and this is not just my understanding or my experience. I've asked many people. We teach this work consistently. There is this moment of transcendent bliss. There's a moment of like, whoa, like euphoric, like a lot of folks like to try to find this in drugs, right? They're like trying to find what we're describing. They're trying, this is what they're looking for. They're looking for this moment where they're like, whoa, I feel so amazing. What is that? And what's happened is their mind's taken a backseat. They've connected with their heart and their soul. They've had a moment, even if it's an inkling, there's a moment where they felt this deeper connection to all that is. It's a deeper connection beyond the body. It's a deeper connection to this time frame of like, oh, I have this body for a few years. And it's all of a sudden there's this like, whoa, I'm not just this body. I am something way more than that. I felt that. And I believe and I feel some of the greatest way to feel that is to start doing more soul activation work, is which we teach.
So when you do that, and you get to that point where you are, I guess you call it behind the heart, which is a really cool way to say it.
Yeah.
And you are an empty vessel, for lack of a better term. Is that the place that people go to that channel? Is that how you then move yourself out of the way and let something else come through you?